Hello, I'm Brian Fredericks, and I'm doing this discussion video about the music research assignment that we have, which was to look up an article and to discuss it. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you the article name, which is Semantic Clustering and Processing Speed in Suzuki Violinists by Bugos and Mazuk in 2013. My background in music is actually Suzuki. I started playing the violin when I was 9 years old. The way that they measured it was using a quantitative experimental causal comparative was the type of research that they're doing here, because what they're doing is they're taking 35 students, about half of them are non-musicians and the other half are Suzuki trained musicians, and they're comparing them to see the dependent variable being how well they're doing with verbal memory performance, memory strategy usage, and visual processing speed performance. Whereas obviously the independent variable is whether they are Suzuki trained or if they're non-musicians. And they even count non-musicians as 3 months or less of instrumental experience. So the age range for the kids is about 8 to 12 years old. And the measures that they did was enhanced performance in verbal memory performance, distraction list items, short delay free recall trials, semantic clustering scores, and overall processing speed. But Suzuki, and this is in the study, this is in the article, Suzuki believes that every child can learn. The Suzuki method does not discriminate. It doesn't say, just like in the early education days, especially in America and Europe, you're not good enough to even go to the school, don't even try. Suzuki method is saying that all children can learn, and they use the mother tongue application. So if you can understand language, if you can learn how to talk and then learn how to read and write eventually, then you can learn music virtually the same way. One of the tests that they did was an audiation test from my man, Gordon, who we all know is a pillar of the music pedagogy. I really like Gordon as well. I mean, he was very focused on musical audiation, especially with children, because he was a music education person. So I think that he and Suzuki have a lot of similarities, obviously some differences, but that's something I'm going to be looking into myself. They used the measures of the intermediate measures of musical audiation, the Wechsler abbreviated scale of intelligence, the WASI, the performance intelligence, full scale intelligence, finger tapping test, processing speed index. The Suzuki kids completed the music reading assessment. So in their introduction in the article, they said that Suzuki method of violin instruction is based upon principles of language acquisition, treating music as a mother tongue language, which I've already discussed. Children with music violin instruction often demonstrate high levels of technical proficiency and are working towards reading proficiency. Ideally in Suzuki, you want to start before they're born. But they also point out that musical expertise is associated with higher gray matter density in the head of the left hippocampus, an area associated with memory performance. That is really cool. I don't know how they found that out. Hopefully they didn't dissect any children, but the fact that there is physical evidence of semantic clustering, and just different cognitive skills is really exciting. So in their discussion, they said that children who are enrolled in Suzuki violin instruction perform better than non-musicians in all of their tests. Musicians processed information significantly faster than non-musicians, and children trained in the Suzuki violin method use semantic clustering more than non-musicians. It was is called Semantic Clustering and Processing Speed in Suzuki Violinists by Bugos and Mazuk in 2013. And I apologize, Professor Bugo and Mazuk, for messing your name up. Very nice names, I just can't read them. Thank you.